There may be a historic event taking place behind closed doors at the Indiana Pacers facility. The recent private meeting of three well-known basketball players, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Larry Bird, has sparked intense interest in the sports world. There is a great deal of secrecy around this encounter. Strict secrecy agreements were implemented, and only a small number of chosen officials were permitted to attend. However, why would these three disparate basketball figures unite? Given that Larry Bird hardly ever appears in public these days, what kind of announcement would need his presence? And what might bring legends from various eras and facets of the men's and women's basketball worlds together? We must examine each of these individuals and what they stand for in the sport today in order to see why this gathering is so important. Caitlin Clark is not your typical rookie. She has truly altered the game since joining the Indiana Fever of the WNBA in 2024. She set records, scored from almost anywhere on the court, and raised awareness of women's basketball across the country during her time as a student at the University of Iowa. When she was selected with the first overall choice in the 2024 WNBA draft, she was already regarded as one of the most promising prospects in the history of women's basketball. Caitlin exceeded expectations in her first season. Each game, she averaged 16.7 points, 7.1 assists, and 5.9 rebounds. Strong numbers overall, but particularly noteworthy for a first-year player. She made the Indiana Fever competitive once more and helped them qualify for the playoffs for the first time in a few years. Her games turned into events that people had to watch. NBA broadcasts with Clark frequently attracted over 1 million people, with some even hitting 2 million, which was a significant increase for the league. Clark's influence extended beyond the court. Sales of tickets surged. The merchandise was sold out. It was uncommon in previous WNBA seasons for games to sell out in advance due to her presence alone, both at home and away. The league has benefited monetarily and in terms of public visibility thanks to Clark's marketability, which has also attracted new sponsors and alliances. She has amassed millions of followers on social media, building a brand that is well known outside of the basketball community. To put it briefly, Caitlin Clark has come to represent what women's basketball can do with the correct attention and encouragement. Let's now examine Sophie Cunningham. Despite not being as well known as Clark, Cunningham is one of the hardest and most respected players in the WNBA. Since 2019 as a member of the Phoenix Mercury, she is known for being a daring competitor. She is renowned for her aggressive style of play, potent three-point shooting, and versatility as a guard. She averages about 10 points and 4 rebounds per game, which is good. However, her influence extends well beyond the box score. Cunningham has been an outspoken supporter of WNBA players' rights, equitable pay, and improved working conditions. She frequently talks in public about the need for funding for women's sports and is involved in the Players' Union. She stands for an increasing number of WNBA players who are leaders advocating for significant change within the league in addition to being talented athletes. Cunningham is an important player in any conversation on the future of women's basketball because of her background, resilience, and leadership. Then there is Larry Bird, a well-known figure in the basketball world as a whole as well as in Indiana. Bird, who was born in French Lick, Indiana, rose to fame at Indiana State University before joining the Boston Celtics as an NBA great. He is regarded as one of the greatest basketball brains of all time, having won 3 NBA titles and 3 consecutive MVP honors from 1984 to 1986. Bird continued to influence the game as a coach and then an executive with the Indiana Pacers after he retired as a player. The Pacers advanced to the NBA Finals in 2000 under his direction, and in 2012 he was voted NBA Executive of the Year. Bird has had a strong lifelong bond with Indiana basketball. He has always stood for diligence, basketball acumen, and the value of teamwork. Despite his recent withdrawal from public life, his presence and opinions are still highly respected in the sport. Therefore, Larry Bird doesn't just show up for a casual conversation when he attends a closed-door meeting. It indicates that a serious issue is being discussed. What might be the topic of this meeting, then? It has to do with creating a connection between men's and women's basketball, according to many sports insiders. Cross-gender mentoring, in which male basketball greats like Bird coach and collaborate with up-and-coming WNBA players, is gaining popularity. These mentorships may include strategy sharing, skill improvement, and even off-court advice on topics like leadership, business, and branding. For instance, athletes like Clark and Cunningham may substantially benefit from Bird's knowledge of team strategy and basketball principles. The WNBA stars of today, on the other hand, bring contemporary experiences with social media, fan interaction, and striking a balance between professional athletics, activism, and branding. Knowledge exchange between genders and generations is beneficial to both. This goes beyond certain occupations. It involves altering the system as a whole. The amount of unrealized potential in women's sports has already been demonstrated by Caitlin Clark's popularity. Women's basketball may continue to gain popularity and influence with additional funding, cooperation, and mentoring. That development obtains additional legitimacy and support from the larger sports community by include well-known male speakers like Larry Bird. The development of youth and community basketball is another important area that this gathering may have an impact on. From high school to college to the professional ranks, Indiana boasts a vibrant basketball culture. A collaborative effort between Clark, Cunningham, and Bird might establish new training regimens for young athletes, assisting the upcoming generation in gaining opportunity, confidence, and great talents. Basketball camps, leadership seminars, and school-based mentorships that combine contemporary and conventional methods of the game are some examples of these initiatives. Additionally, business alliances are a possibility. The commercial appeal of Caitlin Clark is huge. You have a potent combination that might draw big sponsors and media partnerships when you combine Larry Bird's history and commercial acumen. These agreements might finance youth initiatives, the WNBA, or even brand new league projects. Sophie Cunningham's voice and activism would guarantee that these initiatives remain based on player inclusion and fairness. Due to growing interest, the WNBA has already begun looking at expansion. It will take great leadership from both current players and seasoned basketball thinkers to add more teams or enhance resources for existing ones. Involving individuals like Bird and Cunningham might provide the kind of expertise and experience that helps the league develop in the proper manner, laying a solid basis for long-term success. Another area where cooperation could be beneficial is technology. Thanks to advances like social networking, virtual reality, and performance tracking apps, basketball practice and fan interaction are rapidly evolving. These resources could be used by a collaborative effort to produce fresh player training programs or fan content. Imagine a training app that teaches young athletes both Clark's contemporary capabilities and Bird's traditional principles. Or a documentary series with NBA and WNBA icons on the evolution of the game. This potential partnership is fascinating because it represents a larger trend in sports, dismantling barriers between leagues, genders, and generations. Growing women's basketball is not the only objective. The goal is to develop basketball as a whole. These leaders are demonstrating that the sport's future can be more inventive, inclusive, and connected than it has ever been by collaborating, exchanging knowledge, and pooling their influence. Caitlin Clark's global impact is a significant aspect of her tale that is sometimes disregarded. Basketball fans all around the world have been closely following Clark's ascension, even though the majority of the headlines center on her influence in the United States. Fans are watching WNBA games in Canada, Europe, and even certain parts of Asia just to watch her play. In nations where women's basketball hasn't traditionally been a significant sport, brief videos of her stunning shots and spectacular passes have gone viral thanks to the growth of social media sites like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. The WNBA is receiving more attention as a result of this increased interest on a global scale. Caitlin Clark's popularity could be the turning moment for a league that has long failed to garner widespread international attention. Additionally, if she, Sophie Cunningham, and Larry Bird collaborate on a project that involves worldwide outreach or a tour, it might contribute to the unprecedented growth of women's basketball. It's also important to note that women's basketball is finally beginning to gain from the changing media landscape. WNBA games, particularly those involving Clark and other prominent players like A.A. Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, and Breanna Stewart, have begun to receive greater broadcast from ESPN, ABC, Amazon Prime, and even smaller streaming services. Several of Clark's games in 2024 had viewership figures that were on par with, or even higher than those of NBA regular season games. This is not merely a transient increase. When the product is easily available and effectively marketed, it indicates that consumers are genuinely interested. Due in large part to Clark's participation, the July 2024 WNBA All-Star Game was one of the most watched All-Star games in league history. Someone like Larry Bird becomes even more significant in this situation. Bird could provide players like Clark and Cunningham with crucial guidance on navigating this new level of stardom because of his decades of expertise working with TV networks, marketing campaigns, and sports business strategy. Because he served as the league's spokesperson throughout the 1980s, when the NBA was still developing its identity, he has a thorough understanding of what it takes. The NBA was having trouble with low viewership and a bad reputation at the time. However, by adding excitement, competitiveness, and personality to the game, players like Magic Johnson and Bird helped turn it around. Caitlin Clark's current situation is similar to Bird's ability to manage pressure, manage a team, and uphold a professional image while contributing to the league's expansion. The historical struggle for gender equality in basketball must also be acknowledged. Compared to their male counterparts, female athletes have faced decades of reduced media attention, lower pay, fewer corporate deals, and fewer facilities. Even now, NBA players travel privately, but WNBA players frequently use commercial planes. These variations may have an impact on general morale, performance, and health. Sophie Cunningham has been very outspoken about these problems. She frequently advocates for equitable treatment and funding for women's basketball using her platform. She has personal experience with the difficulties faced by female athletes, including playing in underfunded venues and earning less than their male counterparts. Her leadership in this field strengthens the possible collaboration between the three of them. There's an opportunity to not only draw attention to these problems but also find solutions thanks to Cunningham's player voice, Clark's media attention, and Bird's business and historical knowledge. We also shouldn't overlook how college basketball helped produce celebrities like Caitlin Clark. Public interest in athletics is greatly influenced by college sports, particularly in the United States. There was more to Clark's tenure at Iowa than just basketball. It had to do with telling stories. Over the course of 4 years, fans followed her development. They saw how she led her team to NCAA championship games, broke records, handled pressure, and spoke effectively in interviews. She developed a fan base that continued into the WNBA thanks to her extensive exposure.